What's good, guys? Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to be talking about the rules and some of the parameters you need to follow while you are trading the TryAqua $1 and also the $10 model. Now, I'm going to tell you the difference between both of them, all right? Because some people have been saying, since the maximum withdrawal on both accounts is $100, then what is the difference? So I'm also going to also explain what the difference is and the advantage the 5K account has that the 1K does not have. So first, I'm going to start with 1K, and the main rule here is the daily and the maximum drawdown. Now, so the daily is actually a trailing drawdown. What it simply means is that, let's say, for example, in a day you make 3% and you end up later losing 3.5%, your account is gone for that particular day. All right, in that particular day, your account is considered it's gone. So it is a daily trailing drawdown. Most instant forwarded accounts have a fixed daily, then a trailing maximum. But yeah, you and I know how we got this particular account, so there are a lot of catches. That's just how it is, all giveaways. Yeah, so there's nothing different about this, right? You just have to know how to trade it. So a 3% trailing drawdown, and we have a 5%. They have a 5% trailing drawdown. So what is trailing drawdown in this case now means, let's say for example you make up 1,050. I'm talking about the 1K account now, and for some reason after having this balance on your account, you now took other trades and you now lose let's say up to 55 or even 52.5, anything below 50, after you might have made up to this amount, which is 5%, you automatically lose the account. No matter how many days, trading days you might have had, or how close you are to withdrawal, you lose the account. So it's a trailing drawdown. So you want to know how to manage your risk. Very, very important. Now, one other rule that everyone needs to also pay attention to is the 2% floating loss. So you should not at any point in time have up to or more than 2% in your floating loss. So what this simply means, let's say for example you take a trade, your stop loss on any open position or open positions must not amount to more than or equal to 2%. So you want to be risking at least maximum 1.5 per trade, even though the daily drawdown is 3%, which is also trailing. That doesn't mean that you should open a trade with 2% drawdown. Once it 2% stop loss, once it hits 2% drawdown, you automatically lose that particular account. Now, the minimum trading days is 5 days. The only way a particular day can be counted as a trading day is if you've made 0.5% of these accounts or more. Now, in this case, now on a 1K account, if you must make 0 points. You must make at least $5 in a day for that day to be considered a trading day. So pay attention. So even if you trade for, like, let's say 30 days, and out of those 30 days, you are able to, maybe just 4 days that you're able to make profits and your targets and everything, your trading days is still not complete. So you have to pay attention to that. Now, the consistency rule is 15%. So what it simply means is that, now let's be real, everybody's going to be targeting $100 mostly on this account. Why? Because that is the maximum you can withdraw as a one-time withdrawal. So I don't think it's a one. Okay, yeah, that's the maximum. Once you hit $100 withdrawal, then that is all. So let's say you are targeting $100, right? You should not make more than $15 per day to be on a safer side. Now, are you going to lose the account if you make more than $15 per day? No, but you are just giving yourself extra work because you need to make more money for you to be able to meet up to this consistency rule. So the best thing is just target $15 in a day, then get out of the account for that particular day. Profit split over here is 90%. You keep 90% of any amount you make on this account. Obviously, it's going to be $90 or $80. Yeah, depending on how much you make, anyways. Then they offer by weekly payments. So every 14 days you might withdraw for payments, withdraw request for payouts. Then another thing that everybody should also pay attention to is that this account expires 30 days from the day you placed your first trade. So let's say, for example, you got this account on Monday and started trading on Wednesday. From that Wednesday, the day starts counting. Once it gets to 30 days, whether you've made profits or not, whether you have one more day to complete your 5 day minimum trading days, you get to lose the account. Your account will be taken away from you. It is as simple as that. So it's that one account, one person. Once you buy once, you can't buy again unless there is something like this later in the future. But right now, once you buy just one account, that is all. So trade it wisely. So that's basically all for the $1, which is the 1K account. Let's head over to the 5K account, which is the $10 model. I'm also going to tell you the difference between the two of them and the advantage that this one has that the other one does not have. Now, like I mentioned earlier, every other thing I mentioned in the 1K account is the same here. The only difference though is that the um the only difference here, right, is that you get have more leverage on this particular account. Let me give an example now. Let me use this instant breach on floating loss as an example. Now, let's say for example, now 2% on a 1K account is $20, right? 2% on a 5K account, right, is $100. So let's say for example you take a trade on gold, and because of the way you trade or the time frame you trade, your stop loss, if you are to place it somewhere comfortable where it should be, at least you should be able to risk, let's say $90 if you place your stop loss very well, or if you have to place it very well. Now, if you take the same trade on a 1K account, you can't, in fact, you can't take that same trade no matter how good the setup is, because if you try to place the same stop loss and take this try to place the same stop loss the same place you are placing the one you took on this 5K account, once your drawdown gets to $20, you lose the 1K account. But in this case now, even if your drawdown gets to $20, you are still in that trade, you still own the account until maybe after hitting like $50, $60, then goes into profit. So what it simply means is that you can actually use comfortably a negative risk to reward on the 5K account, but you can't do that on the 1K account. So that's one major advantage. The 5K account, in fact, that's the only advantage I said the 5K account has over the 1K account. Now, the other issue with the 5K is that, I don't know if it's an issue, but a flaw somehow, is that the maximum, no matter how much you make on this account, the maximum you are still going to be able to withdraw is $100. So you also want to do your calculations very well. If you ask me personally, what I think you should do with your 5K account is just use a negative risk to reward trading system, whereby you just target 15 dollars. But then now comes another problem. Yeah, that is one thing I was trying to point out to you guys. The minimum trading days, so that you see how hard it can actually get at the end of the day. But yeah, you can still do it though. Now, the minimum trading days require that you make 0.5%. So in this account, for you to be able to withdraw in this particular account, you need to make at least $50 every single for 5 days, right? Before it will be counted as trading days, which simply means that if you are to calculate that, let's say for example, you just focus on getting that 5 days, you make $50 times 5, that's 250. Now inside that 250 you make, you are still going to be paid out of what? $100. You're not going to be paid out of that $250. So for me personally, I think, just like I said, negative risk to reward, maybe risk $100 or risk $90, target $50 on every single trade. So two advantage the 5K has over the 1K is that you can comfortably use negative risk to reward, then it has more leverage. But apart from that, every other thing in terms of the rules, in terms of the expiration, they are all the same. All right, so that is the rule and the things you need to know about this account. If you have any question, or if there's any rule you don't understand or the one I miss, let me know in the comment section. Do have a lovely trading week ahead. Peace.